Hello, my name is Abigail Cox, and today I will be discussing how to conduct a business meeting in France. The purpose of this is to expand our company into France with help of our business that will help our business because we can grow into new territories without getting too far out of our comfort zone because their level of living is kind of like ours. It's kind of higher standards. There are even higher standards than us. Having knowledge about the country you're going to work with will give you an advantage and help you have a successful business meeting. This is going to be like all the information I give you will help you run a more successful business meeting and hopefully get a better understanding of what you're getting into. An overview of France. This is just saying the different types. The overview of France basically is just talking about what France is and how many there are and the climate. The capital of France is Paris. The population is 66.7 million people. Airports that are closest to the area that you're going to be at is Charles de Gaulle Airport, Orly Airport, Paris Airport, Le Bourget. And the airport that I chose that would be the best for you to land at would be Airport de Paris Le Bourget. And I left a map of where you can find that airport at. The currency there is euros. €1 is equal to $1.17 US dollars. It's a little bit more pricier over there. Climate is warm and oceanic. It's very hot temperatures. The language mostly spoken there is French, and the religion that's mainly practiced is Christianity. Common business phrases that you might want to know before you get there would be hello, and how to say hello is bonjour. How are you? Comment vas-tu? I'm not from France. I don't really know France, but if you watch videos on YouTube or listen to different French-speaking people, it'd be very easy to get the actual lingo. But this is just so you know the basic words. So when somebody's talking to you, you can talk back. Yes and no. Thank you for having me. When will I hear back from you? That's a big one because you want to know, like, am I going to hear back from you? But you don't want to say that like that. Sponsors or superiors should be called Monsieur and Madame. It's kind of like their yes sir, no sir, like we use. Monsieur is a male's name and Madame is the female's name, what you would call them. And I also gave a picture of a list of more phrases that you can use in French, but the ones that I personally put were more business related. These are more like hello, goodbye, please, thank you. Just things like that, and things will help you go to France and know what you're going to say. Meeting etiquette there, the clothing is very fashion forward. There's big brand names like Chanel, Dior, but they also wear those big names, but professionally. They don't go out. They don't wear crazy colors. Like the women's business attire is only business suits or formal dresses in very dull colors. As you can see in the picture provided, that there's not very many bright colored dresses. They don't wear pink. They don't wear green. They don't wear blue. They only wear dull, nude, black, gray colors to try to keep them. You don't want to be out there and be too crazy colored. The men business attire would be dark colored and formal suits, just like you can see in the business picture I showed, is they have business casual, business professional, and black tie. It's all very black and kind of dark colored. The appropriate greeting when you're going into a meeting would be a light handshake with only a few handshakes, not going crazy like you kind of do here. I know that's kind of generally how you shake a hand. You shake it more than just once or twice. But in France, I think you only need to shake once, two, you're done. Exchanging business cards, you should do that initially after the greeting, like after the meeting. You want to exchange your business card politely. Also, you want to try to change your business card information to French so they know what you're saying on your card and they know how to contact you. Because if it's in English and they don't know English, it's going to be harder for them to contact you. Scheduling a meeting, you'll need to schedule with the secretary at least 2 weeks before time and expect it to start exactly on time. They're very time conservative. They go whenever it's said to go. If you say you're going to start a meeting at 2 p.m., be there 1:55. You have to be early. Beginning the meeting, you want to have very little small talk. Here, I know you like to talk. Everybody likes to talk about our personal lives. There, no, you keep it very minimal. How are you doing? Weather's great. That's it. Do not ask personal questions. Keep it very business related. Do not talk out of business context. What to know before you go into the negotiation. This is like the decision makers. The one decision maker that's going to make all the decisions is going to be the senior officials. Nobody below them is going to make any kind of decision. And what to expect would be a lot of questions during the meeting. They're going to ask exactly what you know and how much you know about it. And also, the decision will not be made during the meeting. The decision will be made after the fact. It would usually be talking to the employees of the higher up that you're going to be talking to in the meeting. So the employees will go talk to the boss, tell them what they think, and then they'll go about what they think that they should do. And the final work that happens after they talk to the boss would be they'll take into consideration if they want to move forward with you. And if they do, they will write up a written contract. They don't just say over the phone, yes, we're going to work with you. It's always over contract. They never do anything voice to voice. Social aspects of business dinners. This would be the dinner part of going to a business meeting. If you had a business dinner, they mainly only do business dinners. They don't do lunches like America does. The difference in dining etiquettes there, they start eating once you say bon appetit. It's kind of cliche, but it's kind of neat too. And they keep the conversation strictly business. No funny business. Similarities in dining etiquette for here, they don't rest their elbows on the table. They cross their knives and fork on the plate if they're not finished. Arms should be visible whenever eating and not on the lap. And once your tip is if it is at a highly rated restaurant. In France, they don't tip as much as we do here. They only tip at very high rated restaurants, but they do tip. For gifts, you would want to give flowers and wine. Flowers should be given in odd number bunches besides the number 13 because it's an unlucky number and it can be taken as an insult if you give somebody 13 flowers instead of 11 or so. Wine should be wine should be given and it should be high quality wine. You don't want to cheap out on wine. You want to if you're going to give it as a present, you want to get the most expensive wine because it's also an insult if you give them cheap wine because they're from France. So they have the best wine in the world. So you want to give them high expensive wine. Preparing for your trips, you want to make sure and have your electronics, your passport, and your money for currency. And you want to kind of carry a little bit extra cash than you would if you went somewhere else because as you can see, the currency there is much higher than it is here. So you're going to be spending a little bit more than you would if you were traveling to Detroit or something. Try to look into more translations so you have a better understanding of the language. You can use Google Translate if you're in a pinch. I recommend reading books beforehand, watching YouTube videos, just really studying the language so you know exactly what's being said. I know that I gave a list of some short phrases, but I recommend getting more into it. I hear that French is not the hardest language to learn. So you could really, if you study more into it, I bet you can catch it right away. Bring clothes that are only business appropriate and formal attire because walking around the streets, you don't want to have a t-shirt and pants on like this woman does in the picture. You want to make sure and be dressed business attire, have your suit on or a dress, just look nice when you're walking through the streets because you never know who you're going to see. And be sure to pack snacks if you don't care for French cuisine because you're in France. So it's mainly French food. Extra information that you might want to need to know about going into France. In France, people don't take food to go. It's kind of weird. But if you order, for an example, if you order a coffee at a coffee shop, you should finish it there instead of walking down the street with your coffee cup because people just think that's unsanitary and that's not needed, that you should eat where you're at and don't bring it home with you. Also, try not to smile unless you mean it. French people don't fake gestures, so try to maintain a genuine attitude. Just try to be real and genuine when you go. Don't try to have a fake attitude. Always be nice. Don't be rude. Always be nice. But just have a genuine attitude. Say bonjour when walking into a store or a building. That's their hello. So you want to be nice and be just meaningful to say hello like we do here. Speak monotone and try to avoid speaking loudly. Don't try to raise your voice. Everybody there, the French language is a very low voice and low sounding language. I know we here can be a little bit louder and try to portray our voice more, but when you're in France, everybody needs to tone it down and bring it to a more monotone level. And for my conclusion, I really hope these tips will help you have a great and smooth business trip, hopefully following with a strong and efficient business partnership. I really hope these tips help, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.